This is my this is the my second AI spoken English tutor. We had a conversation. We're having a conversation. And Steve. He says, he's really bossy.
Hello, Fifi. Welcome to Practica. My name is Steve, and I'm your personal AI tutor. Now hold this big blue microphone button and say hello.
And he's powered by ChatGPT, which is my favorite. He says, and I said, and then he said, how do I think improving my English will help me in expressing myself through literature? Well, actually, because he only asked about art, I'm more interested in other things. I'm more interested in deep conversations. Smooth, deep, and very often intellectual conversations that needs me to improve my English, I guess. Well, isn't that obvious that that improving my language ability would help me express myself through literature, because literature is all about words, all about language. So to be able to express myself better, obviously, I would want to improve my language ability. I don't know if that's the right way to say it. I didn't push the blue button. It's obvious that improving my language abilities would help me express myself through literature, as literature is nothing but words. That's a dumb question to ask.
I understand your point. Let's focus on how English can enhance your artistic expression in literature. Do you have a favorite book or author that inspires your writing?
That'll be myself. I write more than I read. I'm more interested in writing my style of literature than reading it. Like, reading it is boring. Like, I never even read the stuff that I write, let alone other people's. I inspire myself, or inspiration just arrives to me.
Great, thanks. Based on our conversation, your English is at C1 level.
Really?
Let's begin your learning journey. Now I am preparing your personal study plan.
Really?
See you soon in our classes.
That's already C1? I feel like it's a B2, because I feel like there are many things I can't say or I'm not sure, and I often make mistakes. How could I be a C1? That's impressive. The last time I did an IELTS exam was like 2 years and a half ago. Almost, actually 3 years ago. Holy shit, time flies. Let's see, I spent 1 year in the UK. I was, and I came here, I spent a year and a half here. It's almost May, and now it's just the end of February. That's nearly 3 years ago. Holy shit, 2.5, actually. 2 and 8 months ago. And my spoken English, I think, was much worse than today. I think. I have no idea. I got a 6.5 out of 9. But I got other, I don't know the word for this here. I got other subjects. Okay, other subjects much better. So my sum total was 7.5 out of 9. It was impressive. I think today I could probably even get higher. I'll be probably 8. Up 8 or even higher. And that would be a C1 level, but not my spoken English. A 6.5 out of 9 would be at most B2. Don't ask me to. Where are they all females? Like 80% are females and the guys aren't cute. Henry. I guess I would just pick a random one. No, I picked a different one. AI avatar loading. I should have. Hello. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Handro?
Hey Fifi, how's life treating you today?
Whew. I don't know how's life treating me because I don't know what's life's plan.
That sounds quite philosophical. Life can be unpredictable, can't it? But let's focus on our lesson today. We're diving into advanced vocabulary through a fun, would you rather activity. Are you familiar with how this game works?
Yes.
Great. Here's your first question. Would you rather possess an extensive vocabulary but struggle to articulate your thoughts, or be eloquent but limited in word choice? Why did you choose that option?
What is eloquent? Does it mean frequent? Obviously, I would choose the latter because the goal is to be able to express yourself, to be able to speak, to be able to talk. If you possess however big of an vocabulary but you can't use it, then it's totally useless. It's pointless, isn't it?
Do you mean I would choose the latter because the goal is to be able to express yourself? I completely agree. Being able to articulate thoughts is crucial. Let's try another one. Would you rather learn a sophisticated word every day but forget it by the end of the week, or master a few complex words and use them effectively? What's your reasoning?
Well, that's a dumb question. What do you guess?
I appreciate your honesty. It sounds like you'd prefer to master a few complex words and use them effectively, right? That way, you can communicate more meaningfully. What makes that option more appealing for you?
I don't know what you mean. Like, I had only two options, right? And I said your question was dumb because obviously I would choose the letter. Why would I choose the former if I were to forget the word that I would learn? I don't understand your question. Like,
I see. You mean you found the first option impractical? That makes sense. Mastering a few words is definitely more beneficial for communication. Let's move on to another question. Would you rather read a complex book that challenges your understanding or enjoy an easy read with captivating storytelling? Why did you choose that?
well, I've done both. It really doesn't matter what I want. The book is what matters. If the book is good, then no matter how difficult it is, I would read it.
Do you mean if the book is good, then it doesn't matter how difficult it is, I would read it? That's a fantastic perspective. A compelling story can make any challenge worthwhile. Let's do one more. Would you rather engage in deep discussions using sophisticated vocabulary or have light-hearted conversations with simpler language? What drives your choice?
Definitely deep conversations. They are the only kind of conversations that I need to have.
That's a strong choice. Deep conversations can lead to meaningful insights and connections. It sounds like you value depth and substance in your interactions. To wrap up, you've engaged thoughtfully today, especially with your reasoning behind each choice. Just a small correction. The only kind of conversations that I need to have would be more accurate. Keep up the
That's
great
what I
work.
said.
Would you like to reflect on what we've covered?
Nope. Thank you. We can move on.
All right. If you're ready to move on, just let me know the next topic you'd like to explore. I'm here to help.
Now that sounds just exactly like ChatGPT. I mean, you're the teacher. You start a conversation, and make sure the conversation is deep. Okay.
I appreciate your feedback. Let's dive deeper then. How about we discuss the impact of language on culture? In what ways do you think sophisticated vocabulary shapes our understanding of different cultures?
I do not care about cultures or histories or these concrete topics. I prefer to talk about abstract topics rather than concrete subjects like culture or history or stuff like that, you know?
Got it. Let's explore something more abstract then. How about the concept of identity? What do you think shapes our identities in a world filled with diverse influences?
That's a much better choice of a topic. I've never thought about this. What shapes our identities? It's a it's a really void question, don't you think? What do you mean exactly by what shapes our identities? Well, I've heard this saying that says a person is the total sum of all the other people that they interacted with. Well, I don't completely agree with this, obviously, because I'm a spiritual person that understands the now I don't know what word to use. the let's just say prelude of a life and where it's going.
Do you mean, I believe there's a deeper essence to a person beyond just their interactions? That's an intriguing perspective. It seems you value the spiritual aspect of identity. Can you elaborate on how spirituality influences your sense of self?
How spirituality influenced my sense of self? I think it just I actually never thought about, like most people, I never got to think about my identity or what and who I am before I got into spirituality or before spirituality happened to me. It just probably just brought it into the spotlight for me. This question that you asked, the identity, what you are. You know, like most people would never think about it, and nor did I. I never thought about it. So spirituality answered this never asked question of mine. Like for me, it let me know what I am or what everyone is. Did it not? It was too long or what? Spirituality influenced my sense of self by answering this never asked question of mine about our true identity. I, like most people, never thought about what or who we truly are. The experiences are just information that opened up my eyes and literally just shifted my belief system that I use to view the world. The old belief system that's the most popular on our planet is one rooted in physicalism philosophy. And I used to view the world through that lens. And spirituality basically opened up a new portal for me by throwing at me a bunch of different about a lot of information from different fields of spirituality with evidence that just literally shook me loose and changed my life downside up.
That's a powerful transformation. It seems that exposure to diverse spiritual perspectives has profoundly reshaped your worldview. How do you think this shift in belief influences your daily life and interactions with others?
I think what spirituality did for me was Well, the only thing actually that spirituality is always has always been about is only about the only thing that it ever did to me is confirming what I had always lived for, which is following my feelings authentically, or my heart. Even I think one thing that's super interesting is even far before I ever had learned about spirituality at all, when I was still a teenager, I knew that my life was about nothing but pursuing love and truth, just these two things. I and still they still are today, still 10 years later, they're still the only things that matter to me. Just before spirituality, I never knew that they were one and the same thing. Today, I know it now. Oh, it doesn't seem to be more useful than the ChatGPT app. Like, when I speak.
That's a powerful transformation. It seems that exposure to diverse spiritual perspectives has profoundly reshaped your worldview. How do you think this shift in belief influences your daily life and interactions with others?
Is it gonna load or not? Like, if this app, you know, when you speak in ChatGPT, it also has a text transcriber. You speak, and the text would be transcribed for you. And often it would just crash like this when you speak for too long. Why don't I just use the app then, if this is no better at all? I don't know. You can't speak for longer than 3 minutes or it will just crash. Sometimes you just lose everything you've spoken of and you have to start over. That's when you get. I just got really frustrated many times because of that crash. Sometimes you keep on speaking, you forget about the rule, the 3-minute rule, and you just lose everything you've said. You have to start over. Like now. Shit. You little shit. Come on. Are you flirting with me? Hello? Did you hear what I said? I said, the only thing that spirituality is about is what I had always known also. And so spirituality really just confirmed what I had always lived for, which is following my feelings, my heart, my passion, truthfully. Nothing else. Shit, that problem sticks.
Do you mean spirituality confirmed my existing beliefs about following my feelings and passions? That's a beautiful way to live. It sounds like your inner guidance plays a significant role in your decisions. How do you ensure that you're staying true to those feelings and passions in your daily life?
Well, what do you mean? Like, how can one ensure that they are staying true to their feelings and passions. What do you mean?
I meant, how do you personally maintain alignment with your feelings and passions amidst life's challenges? What practices or habits help you stay connected to that inner truth?
Well, it's actually very challenging for me still because I grew up in a. I don't know if I'm gonna talk too long again, and it's not gonna record everything. It's gonna lose it. Gonna crash again. Or I can try. It's challenging for me because the environment that brought me up was totally the opposite of what I've been believing in, which discourages what I do. So, over the years, I've become really doubtful. Sometimes I think maybe I should be practical, or maybe I'm not doing the right things, or I don't even know when I'm following my feelings sometimes. Very often, like, for example, right now, I am in a total pause in my life where nothing's happening, no relationships going on. And I don't know where life is gonna lead me at all. And I get really nervous sometimes. I wonder if I'm doing something wrong. I might totally on the wrong path, or because I have no clue what I'm here for anymore in the world. And I have nothing to do every day. Where there can just be a lot of doubt. It has been a year and a half. Okay, it's lost it again. I'd rather than talk to ChatGPT. ChatGPT could have. I'm just gonna quit. Not gonna use this app anymore. This app is much better. It's free than that one. And it doesn't crash like that app. You can see I talked for less than 3 minutes and it couldn't record. But within this app here, I can talk. I can talk for even longer. So I was saying, I don't know. Like, I'm in a phase of life where it's a total pause, where nothing's happening. I'm not doing anything. I don't know where my life will lead. It has been a year and a half, and there are no relationships in my life. I have no one in my life. And so I feel a lot of doubts. Wow, that's been like this for the past year and a half. It's been better actually, because longer it's been like this, because I'm growing every day. I can see that, and I guess I'm trusting more and more. Still, I know, you have said before that as they say, in spirituality it is said to be a phase of hibernation, where I'm being prepared for the next chapter of my life. Yeah, I want to believe in it, but just sometimes I have doubts that says maybe I'm doing something wrong. Maybe I should be more practical now, like most people would do, like find a random job just to keep some income coming in. I just don't feel like doing that at all, because, I don't want to do that. Not at all. I don't want to do it. But then I have doubts that nothing's happening. What if it lasts forever? What if it just keeps going on like this? Actually, my growth is very visible to me. I can just experience my growth. I'm a different person today than half a year ago, even, let alone a year and a half ago. Which is interesting because I'm not so intense in this, I'm not so intensely exposed to spirituality as much as I did in the beginning of my spiritual journey, which was just exactly just 2 years ago, where I would just immerse myself in spirituality for like 10 hours a day for a few months, 3, 4 months, before I totally changed my life course, moved to where I am today. I was gonna study in university, but I also knew it didn't feel like 100% right for me. I was gonna study psychology. It didn't feel 100% right for me. I never said to myself, I never felt like it was a 100% true path. I just didn't have any other paths. So I thought, okay, I'm gonna study psychology because, like I said, since the age of 16, I knew all my life's about should be is about nothing, literally nothing, other than truth and love. And to me, obviously, a person that only received education based on the physicalism philosophy, I thought the best way to approach truth was through science and psychology, as you can see, is the subject in science that's really the most abstract. The other subjects in the science field are much more concrete, about numbers, about very dead, like, I don't know how to say this, cold and dead, like physics, for example. I'm talking about the form of the subject, not whatever. You can interpret it however you want. And I was not interested in socials, like literally sociology is totally not science anymore, right? You can call them social researchers, but it's a totally different from science. And I was more into science than that. Also, I was because I think I was into psychology primarily because it studies the mind, which is the most fascinating for me, because that's where feelings are. And I don't know, I've just been always interested in the mind. And also because, looking back after I had made the decision, I realized how psychology was fascinating because it was literally the combination between science and art. It's not as dead and cold as other subjects in science, like just numbers and measurements and formulas and dead cold facts. But it's like psychology studies the mind, which is just it's impossible to be measured with just numbers as clearly as how other subjects can measure the physical world that's just out there where we can totally observe and do everything about. Because the studies, they're facts. You can measure facts, but you can't measure the human mind. It's nothing. We don't even know what it is. And I think it's so beautiful. So I thought psychology was so special because it was such a combination between science and art. And that was exactly the thing that I wanted. But I knew that it wasn't my passion. That was just the thing that I wanted to do the most among everything I knew about. But it wasn't like I was passionate about it. So I never was 100% sure that this is the path that I wanted to take, but there was no other paths available. So I chose psychology and I moved country to prepare to study it. Just at the end of the preparation year, like preschool, spirituality happened to me out of nowhere through surfing the internet. It happened. Somehow I was drawn, which is interesting because I wouldn't be drawn. Normally, I wouldn't because I was such a, science-based person, like most people are. Science worshippers, basically. Like, if anything sounds like not scientific, I would just say only uneducated people would believe these things, such as out-of-body experiences or, things like that. But somehow that day, I was just drawn to this topic about manifestation, which sounded, I think, because of the manner of the guy that was talking about it in that video. He was so serious. And that made me think, and also he was not dressed up in a weird way or having weird music or anything weird in that video. It was just really like a kind of really a serious looking video. So that got me thinking, and I was really intrigued by this idea of creating something with your mind, with your intention, with your consciousness. That was just not something I had ever heard of, actually. It just fascinated me somehow for whatever reason. Because normally it wouldn't. Normally I would say it's so bullshit. It's superstition. It's so bullshit like astrology to me back then. I didn't believe in these. But that day I just felt drawn and I started to watch videos about it. I started to practice it. And as more videos I watched, I was exhausting this person's video about manifestation after a month later. And something new happened. Like I decided to Google this person that was mentioned many times in this person's video, and that was about the law of attraction. And I got into it, which just opened me up a little bit more, because in the law of attraction, the founder of the law, I don't know if they are the founders, but the most popular representatives, the influencers in the law of attraction field, they not only talk just about the law of attraction or the practice, but also about the origin of it, which totally opened me up, which kind of blew my mind. And somehow I was open to believing it. It said that it talked about source, which is what we really are, where we came from. And that's why the law of attraction would work. It doesn't matter. The law of attraction doesn't matter anymore. It's just the source thing, That, okay, I'm not just a human or whatever I've been thinking I am. To be fair, I never thought about what I am. I just am, I never thought about it. Never thought what I really am. Never thought to myself, oh, I'm a human at this. Never. I just am. I just be. I just was. I just exist. I never was attached to any like identity, like hard identity, like, oh, I am a human, so I am this and that. Never. And it talked about the source thing, that's our true life. Each person has their own source, and fundamentally you are the source. And that really, really shocked me. And somehow another month later, another 1 or 2 months later, I was exhausting their content because I was buried inside of it every day. I was exhausting their content. I learned everything about their teaching, and then suddenly a new video showed up, like in my YouTube feed, that really caught my attention. It was this person called Joe Dispenza, Dr. Joe Dispenza. And I guess because of this overwhelming evidence there is in his channel from people that follow his he's not a like spiritual leader, he's a kind of a more of a researcher. He's more scientific than the other people, and he's a doctor, and he basically uses meditation to, like group meditation retreats, to help people heal, or just meditations that he recorded himself. And all of those evidence really are overwhelming. I watched like hundreds of these how do you call them, testimonials, thankfully. I remember this word. It's so fun. Like I never memorized this word, but I just can use it now. They are real. They're genuine. I'm someone that's really intuitive. I can tell if a person's life is just acting. I can totally tell. And there's just hundreds and hundreds of them. They can't all be acting. And let me tell you, none of it is acting. 'Cause I just know. I knew. And I read his books. I was hungry. I wanted to know more. And he talked about, well, he's, again, I guess, another manifester, like manifestation master. Like most people follow him for, healing or manifesting. So was I. I practiced his stuff, and I was also once again exhausting his stuff after 2 months, I guess. That was probably, I don't know what time it was. I think it was near, that was after my school was finished that year. So it should be, I think about July, around July, earlier than July. I don't know. No idea. I don't know how long it had been. I practiced his meditation strictly, like hours a day. Like he would require, I don't know. He didn't require you to do it hours a day, but I wanted to do it because I thought that would work. Like many people said in the testimonials. And as I was exhausting his content, I went to his official Facebook group to maybe look for something new. I don't know, just very casually. And then somebody mentioned in a comment a Next Level Soul channel podcast. They said podcast. And somehow I was drawn to that. So I thought it was a podcast, so I just searched for it on Spotify and I found it. And I only learned it much later that it was not just a podcast about that, but the first episode that I listened to happened to be one about near-death experience. And I still remember that day. I was in the kitchen and I was just totally bombarded. What's the right word here? I was just overwhelmed. I was shocked. My life was totally changed that day as I was listening to this near-death experience interview. I was totally shocked. I was thrilled. It was a life-changing day. It was the start, the beginning. And I thought maybe I should look for this channel on YouTube. Maybe I could find. Yeah, I found their channel on YouTube. They had only like 460,000 subscribers back then. Today they have 1 million, just 101 million. No, 1 million, 1.1 million subscribers. And I just went on and listened to a few more episodes first about near-death experience. And I just kept on getting shocked, and I had so many questions. Because each near-death experience talks about something different. Like, there's so many contradictions in them. I was so confused. I had so many questions. I just watched on. I couldn't stop. I was so hungry because I'm extremely curious. And like I said, my life is nothing but about truth and love, and this is crucial. So I literally just buried myself in these materials. Hours and hours I did nothing but watching these videos. And then I learned more and more and more, and his channel is not just about near-death experience, also about interviews with all kinds of people in the field of spirituality. So I got to know so many people because of this channel. I like channelers, and another very important figure for me is Suzanne Giesemann. She is an evidence-based medium. Evidence is super important for me. Like I said, now you know my background. Even if I'm super intuitive, I've only received education based on, again, physicalism philosophy. And evidence is extremely important to me. And she's a evidence-based medium, so damn. She just doesn't just talk. She has evidence, and I'm really drawn to her vibe. I still follow her today. And also this channel, like Next Level Soul, I still follow it today. And then many other people. I watched their videos, I just learned basically everything about spirituality I could. And I read books as well. I don't remember how many books. I think most videos, because I've watched hundreds and hundreds of videos. Definitely at least hundreds. And books, much less books. Definitely not hundreds of books. But it's like maybe 20 books during those few months. I don't know how many books. And yeah, every day I learned something new. Every hour I was learning something new. And that was the only thing I wanted to do, and that's the only thing I did for a few months. And that's what brought me to where I am today. I quit totally that path that I was on towards being a psychologist. Also, somehow it was impossible for me. It wasn't possible anymore. So I changed country again, moved to where I am, where, I don't know anyone. It's a totally new place. I've never been before. I was let here, I know, because when I was just traveling around to see where I wanted to settle, and I just felt a strong pull here. So I know that I'm drawn here. I was guided here. But the thing is, it's been like this. Like, I live here living on the funds that was for my education plan. And it's been a year and a half. Like, I've been not really doing anything. I've been exploring my hobbies. I thought maybe I could just find my passion again, but it didn't work. And I've been talking to people, hoping to find like the most important people in my life, but it never worked. I've never found anyone. Never found anyone ever in my life. Like, I've never had an important, significant relationship. By relationship, I always mean both romantic or just friendship. I've never had any significant, life-changing relationship or people in my life. Never. Like I said, my life's always been like kind of a lonely journey. Like, I'm totally alone on my own. Following my belief, which is totally discouraged in environments, no matter it's the national environment or worldwide environment, always discourages you to follow your heart. But that's what I've always done. I don't know if it's follow my heart. I feel like it's more about following my feelings. I don't know, maybe it's the same, but it's not really the same for many people, but maybe it's the same for me, because it's just something that I do by default. It's not like something I try to do. I just can't not do it. And that's just how I've lived my life. And basically what spirituality is really about. The more I learn about it, the less there is to the dogma or anything. The more I know its core, its essence, is nothing but repeating over and over this sentence, this phrase, that is, follow your heart. Follow your heart. Follow your heart. And this is the only thing that we're here to do, that anyone's here to do, not just me anymore. All of a sudden, the thing that I lived for, the thing that I was fighting for, suddenly is said to be the thing that everyone is supposed to follow. It's like a dream coming true. Whenever I think about it, I am just so surprised. It's been like 2 years, my spiritual journey, and every time I think about it, I still feel so surprised. I can't believe it. It's so good. Oh my god. It's so good. And what I feel is, I've 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 witnessed so much evidence, but my belief system's still in there. Old belief system. It's like I've been intellectually totally convinced by spirituality and everything it says. But I have this old belief system that says I won't believe anything unless something happens in my life to prove it. Like, it's true, I've been watching videos, I've been reading books, I've been watching interviews about other people's lives, other people's evidence. And their evidence, they're totally convincing, they're enough to totally conquer my intellect. But just this belief system, that's really not based on any intellectuality. It's just very empirical. It's based on past experience of my own personal life. So other people's evidence really doesn't get it at all. So this part of me doesn't believe in anything. It just lives. It says, I need something to happen for me to believe in everything. For example, they say, I know we have spiritual guides. I know angels exist. I know we are, eternal. But I know them only like logically or intellectually. I don't really, like, this part of me says, okay, is it really true? Maybe it's not true. What if it's not true? It's too good to be true. Things too good to be true. Or, it just says, because there's no evidence happened in my life. Like, I've never heard from my guides or heard from a spirit, or I've never had a near-death experience myself. So there's always space for doubt. There's always room for doubt for this part of me. I can't eliminate it, no matter what I say. No matter how many more videos I watch, because I've watched hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of videos in there. These videos are at least an hour long. And I read those books. Each book 8 hours long. It's still not enough to convince myself completely. That's why I guess I still have doubt today about my life. Like, I don't trust fully. Like I said, I don't trust fully. Yeah, they say it's a hibernation state. What if not? What if this thing is just random? Just nothing would happen unless I make a change. I can't just trust the universe. I have to do it myself. This part of me sometimes just says that. And I know, the majority part of me, like 80% of me, or 90% of me knows intellectually that I shouldn't do anything what this 10% of me says. But it's just there. What can I say? We will see. But it's not like, for most people, surviving is the most important thing. For me, surviving is not a thing at all. I don't live if there's no meaning. Okay? If I'm 100% sure that me living in this world is totally meaningless, I can just kill myself, really. But, I know that's not going to happen, because what spirituality says is, as long as you breathe, your existence still on this planet still matters, still is meaningful. It's like, not like a totally meaningless life would exist. No. If a person's life is meaningless, they would die. Something would happen to take their life, or they would just move on as spirit. And that hasn't happened for, as long as that doesn't happen to me, I'm not going to do it to myself, because I'm not going to ever kill myself because for this reason. I might kill myself out of some depressive reasons, like out of sadness or something like that. But I think the chance of me killing myself has been really lowered. I don't think I would ever do it. As when I was 18, when I was the most depressed ever, and when I had a plan to kill myself, I didn't even do it, let alone today after knowing everything that I know. I can never, like, be convinced enough to believe that I should kill myself, I guess. Never. Again. Also, I'm not drawn to this idea of violence. When you kill yourself, there's always some violence that needs to be applied, and that's just not my vibe. That doesn't align with my truth. Yeah, it's true that very often I just kind of feel like my truth doesn't align with spirituality. But I intellectually know that it's not true, because spirituality is nothing but about my truth, my own truth, that I've always felt throughout my life. The central vibe of mine. Well, what can I say? Let's see. I have no idea what the point of this phase of my life is, to be fair. I don't even know if my life would extend further from this. Maybe this is the last phase of my life. Maybe I would die very soon or something like this. Or maybe not. Maybe it's the beginning of something. A prelude of something. I can just see. There's nothing I can do. I don't have an option. I have no idea what I want to do. Like, I don't want to do anything. I don't feel drawn to anything anymore. You can say, I don't feel I have a passion anymore, a goal or a purpose. I'm here. I'm just feeding myself every day and just hanging around. I don't know what for anymore. Not that I don't have any options, but when I have options, I always have just one option, because I'm someone, when you're driven by your feelings rather than logic, your options are just really clear. You know exactly what to do. You don't have to choose like what I did, what I've always done in my life. I never needed to choose. It's always clear, just one path. It's crystal clear. And it's the first time in my life that I don't know what to do. I've always known what I wanted to do with my life, even since when I was a kid. Never, when you ask me, what do you want to do? What do you think your life's going to be about? Like, what path would you be on? I would not know what to say. I always knew. Like, when I was in high school, I knew I wanted to. Actually, when I was in high school, I didn't think about these. I was thinking about many other things. I was a philosopher when I was in high school. Well, I guess I still am. I'm just spiritual now. Yeah, like I said, I never got lost in life, I always knew what to do. Like, when I graduated from high school, I knew I was going to choose to study language. And I did, because it's not because I was passionate about learning language, but because there was nothing better I wanted to do. There was nothing, just like when I chose to study psychology, not because I was passionate about psychology, but because that was the best thing among all things I knew at the time. For me, I didn't want to do anything more than psychology. Also, when I graduated from high school, I didn't want to do anything more than studying language. It was just like that. And suddenly right now, I just totally have not a clue anymore. Well, I guess the only thing I still think about, the only thing that matters for me is this thing that I've always wanted, which is a meaningful connection. That's truly different from anyone that I've ever had. all of my relationships I've ever had in my life, again, I want to tell you, it's not just romantic relationship. When I use the word relationship, it includes friendships and many, all sorts, all forms of different relationships, family, whatever, teachers, classmates, whatever. You know, all the personal relationships I've ever had, they were never like something big and significant, you know? Some people are so lucky, they've chosen lives where they were born into meaningful relationships. Like they would have really loving families that are like their soulmates that they really get along with, or they would be born to have some life lasting friendships from a very young age, even from when they were babies or from when they were in elementary schools. You know, some people like that really lucky. That never happened for me. I've never had something like that. You know, I don't have. You either have it right now or you've never had it. You know, it's like that. Life lasting things. Never, never, never. Like I broke up with my family because, like I said again, you probably have guessed that the environment that I was brought up in was just totally different from my vibe. If I'm an idealist, they were all realists. If I'm an artist, they're all workers. That's basically kind of that's the idea. My idealism is pure. I wouldn't compromise anything. Like I said, survival doesn't matter to me the slightest. It's not even a thing on the list. Survival is by default a side effect of pursuing your heart's feelings. I just can't figure out how people would just barely survive. Why would just some people, many people, or most people just really just survive? How can you bear not following your heart? How can you bear that? That's not something. If there's something I'm passionate about, I must do it or I would die. And so I don't understand how can just so many people they just you know what I mean. You live in this world too. That's the reason why I've never had any relationships because people around me they were not like this. They were not like me. You know, I never connected with them on a deep level, on a soul level, you know. So now the question is, why have I chosen such a life? You know, if you are spiritual, you know that we've chosen our lives, we've chosen our parents, we've chosen our, you know, life course, the basic frame of our life course, the most important people in our lives. I've chosen my family. I've chosen this environment, this first 2 decades of my life of being totally alone on my own journey, not connected to any other individual, or not having any relationships backing me up, supporting me. I don't need them to be fair. I don't need anybody to tell me to follow my heart. That's not something I need to. I just do it by default. So I can't even brag about it because it's not what I've earned or I don't have to work hard to do it. It's just something I have to do. It's like breathing. What I want to ask is like why don't people do it? Because it's just unbearable not to do it. How can you hold your breath? So why have I chosen a life where I just have to be alone, well, what matters to me the most is connections, deep connections. Why haven't I chosen a life where I would be born into great relationships that would be life lasting? Why would I chosen the opposite? Complete absence of those relationships, even until today. And right now, I don't think about anything anymore. I don't think about doing something in the world, changing the world, or finding a passion, or finding a purpose. I only think about this. I don't want anything but having such relationships. It can be romantic, it doesn't have to be. Not at all. Just people that can really connect with me, or maybe if I can't have them, let me have a purpose. Let me know what I'm here for. Let me know what I should do. Let me know what my passion is, what my mission is. Either this or that. Well, this has to happen, because that's what anyone's life is about. Just when you're like me in my place in the middle of nowhere, and you just don't know anymore, where you don't know anymore, where you don't have any reference points, you just left to be alone on an island. That's basically where I am. On an island where I don't know anyone. That's literally where I am. You just can panic sometimes. You don't know if this would last forever. You don't know. You don't even know if this is the end or the beginning. I don't even know if I would die. I mean, I don't fear death at all. I've never feared death. Maybe I've feared death for an hour. I remember that hour. That was one night when I was in the high school. I suddenly started to think about death in a way that was terrifying. That was the only hour in my life that I was afraid of death. After that night, I just forgot about all of that. And I've never feared death. Nor especially don't fear it. I crave it. Okay? I want to die more than anything because I have so many questions still. I want them answered. I have just one question, to be fair. It's not answered yet. Nothing in spirituality I've learned so far could satisfyingly answer that question for me. I can't wait to die because I know when I die, I will know it. So if I were to die tomorrow, God, let's celebrate it. Oh, that's the best thing. Death is the best thing that can happen to anybody. That's one phrase I heard from this law of attraction. That's what they said. Death is you don't know that death is the best thing that can happen to anybody here. And it's true. It's liberation. There's no death. There's no death. Death? Death is a fiction. Death? This doesn't exist. Because life doesn't exist. Birth never happened. Creation never happened. Everything just is and will always be and has always been. There's no beginning, no end. It's not a wheel. It just is. It's quite abstract. You can't really find a metaphor here in our three-dimensional reality to explain it. You just have to get it. Okay, you have to get it on your own. I can't explain it to you. I feel like really like surfing the ocean right now. I'm on my surfboard, and I don't know. I don't know at all what would happen. Maybe a wave would come really and hit me down. Maybe I would drown. Or maybe I would just keep surfing. Another wave would come and catch me. And then another one. But just right now, when I'm right now on this current wave on my surfboard, I don't see anything. I just panic right now. What would happen? And it sounds too magical for a perfect wave to come right at the perfect time to catch me in time. To me, because now I can't see anything at all. I feel like that just sounds like a fairy tale. How can that happen? But that's what they say would happen. That's what should happen. That's what I intellectually know that should happen. I'm just not convinced empirically, I guess. Even looking back at my life, it's been like that. Like, it happened for me. Maybe not enough times. Maybe not for enough times for me to trust right now, I guess. Really, I feel like 50-50. Like, I can either really just die very soon, or just something totally beyond my imagination would happen. It's either this or that. It should be either this or that. I'll just have to live on and see. What a journey, surfing the ocean. And I was never drawn to the ocean because I was born in the mountains. My hometown was not close to the sea. I had never seen a sea until the first time ever I had seen a sea was when I was in Italy. And that was just for 10 minutes because it was a bad day. We went on the beach. It was a terrible day. I saw the sea. There was nothing exciting because you couldn't see much on a gloomy day. There was just everything gray. It was sad also. It wasn't exciting. And the second time was, again in Italy. Sorry. I had seen the sea before. Alright, I had seen the sea before. That was when I was traveling alone in Italy. Yeah, I saw the sea, and again, that was nothing exciting. That was it. I had seen the sea 1,000 times in movies and videos. What I saw was not different from what I had seen in the videos. The sea was just the sea, nothing interesting. But it never really wasn't an element in my life or something that I needed to think about or something that I needed. Until this point in my life, when I moved here, or it's just right outside my window, there's the sea. I can't imagine. I don't want to live far from it anymore for the rest of my life. I want to always live close to the sea. Not necessarily having it right outside my window. Just, I have to be close to it somehow. No longer like 2 hours away, that would be too much. Not even 1 hour away. I think it has to be within a bus distance. Like, I take a bus, maybe for 10 minutes I arrive. That's it. Not even longer than half an hour. I don't know. The sea gives me this open feeling. Like it's a sea of potentials, of possibilities, it's openness. It makes me feel safe this way. It's like how I just wouldn't delete the social apps in my phone even if they don't work for me. They're like the sea. I need to keep them open. I need to keep them on my phone even if they don't work. Like, for example, I have this app that's like a letter writing app. Okay, you can write letters to strangers. It's a letter simulation. Mailing stimulator. It's called Slowly. You write letters and or sometimes you would receive a letter from a stranger. It doesn't work for me. I know. Like, I've been using it For 2 weeks, nothing happened. I used it before, it never worked. I know, it's just, but I just wouldn't delete it because it makes me feel safer to keep the options open, to keep it open, to keep everything open. I wouldn't just close them down myself. That's how it feels, the same feeling I feel when I live next to the sea. It's just some openness. I really like it. And I don't care about a view. I actually prefer to see the coastline of the sea that's filled with city buildings. You know, I know some people, they like to live next to the sea and they want a view to be clear of just nature, no buildings. They hate that. They want to be immersed in nature. I always want to live right next to the city, if not inside of it. I want to live right next to the border, maybe, of a city. I don't ever want to be too far from people. I just have to live among people, you know? So many people, they want to live isolated, want to live in the woods. They want to live in nature. I never want that. I want to be close to people, maybe. Because I don't know. Maybe I feel like something I will do, if I will do anything at all, is about people, you know? I have to live near people. For example, if I become an artist, I need people. Or if I even become a spiritual leader, I need people. It's all about people. I want to live next to them. Right where I live, there are many people. I could have chosen easily a little bit more remote place. I thought I wanted to choose a peopleless place. I thought always that I was not a people person. Only until recently, last year, I realized it was a total myth for me. Because in high school, I always preferred to avoid people. I needed my personal space. I needed a lot of space. Now I realize it was only because people were around me 24/7. So that's why I needed a place. Not because I really wanted them to be gone. I love people, man. I hate abstract idea of people, which is the humankind, the human beings. Whenever I see these words, I hear these words, I feel this visceral, this feeling of disdain, hatred. I hate human beings. I hate them. But when you say people, I love people. As if they're not the same things. Because when I think about people, I think about really just individuals, I guess, groups of individuals. I don't know, but when I think about human beings, I think about the abstract idea of people, I guess, which I hate, because I see the things that I just can't, that are just so ugly, that I really hate. It's so interesting, isn't it? Oh, universe, it's all up to you. I'm in your hands. I give myself to you. I've been giving myself to you more, and I need you to teach me how to trust more. I'm serving on your flow. I hope I'm doing the right things. I don't know. Sometimes. Just let me know. I don't know, I guess. Because I've been asking, and nothing has been happening. It just all depends on you. If you want me to die, if you could tell me, I think the best thing that could ever happen was if I could know, right, like a year or months before I would die. Oh God, I'll be so good. I'll be celebrating every single day. That'd be so happy every day. Every day I wake up in the morning, I'll be counting. Okay, I'm gonna die, let's say, in 180 days. I'm gonna die in 179 days. Let's see what can. And the closer I am to death, it just becomes more interesting, more fun, more exciting. I guess I would know because I'm so intuitive. I guess I would always know. I don't know, actually. I'm not a person that actually predicts things. I've not yet predicted anything. I never knew that I would be where I am. Not at all. I didn't know, like, when I decided to quit my previous path, I had no idea where I would be. It just all happened. Again, like surfing the waves. The path just opened up for me. I'm also saying these things to comfort me. Because, like I said, I kind of panic sometimes. Because now I have just so much free time to think and doubt and fear. I guess we will see. In fear or no fear, I know that I have a choice. It's great when you don't have any choice. Actually, I'm literally just open. I'm totally open. I'm so open. I'm open to anything. Anything can happen. Maybe this will happen. Maybe that will happen. Maybe this and that. Maybe it's something that I just can't imagine. Or maybe it's just something that's better than what I have imagined. Better than the best I can imagine. It's always that. It's never less than what you can imagine. It's always more. It's always at least as good as what you can imagine. It's never less. Never. Because that's what happened in my life. The best thing that I never even dared to dream about happened. Was spirituality. Let me see. I never dared to dream. It was beyond my wildest dreams. I never could dream. Oh my god. Imagine if I could just travel back in time and tell myself back then that love is the essential essence of the ultimate reality. That was beyond my wildest dreams. I can never begin to think that way. Yeah, it happened for me. It's not just happened, it's proven to be true. That's just the best thing ever happened in my life. And whenever I think about it, I'm so shocked. How can it be true? How can our life be more magical than Harry Potter? How can it be? How can our lives be wilder than movies? Every time now I watch a movie, after I finish a movie, I just think to myself, oh my god, my life is more fictional than any movies I've ever watched. I'm a movie person. I watched hundreds and hundreds, like 1,000 movies maybe. I watch all the best ones. More movie than you. I watch only the best ones, I check the reviews right before I watch a movie because I really care. I can't just watch something, that disappoints me. The first movie I had ever watched in my life on my own was a Sucker. It was Sucker. I didn't check the reviews at all. Only after I finished it, I checked the review. It was just 6 points something out of 10. Had I checked the review, I would have avoided it. It literally said nothing. It was just totally a mess. I couldn't understand anything because of the logic was totally a mess. Didn't tell the story well at all. It was addicted. It was what's the word again? Adapted from a book. I bet the book was so much better because the movie was totally kind of a piece of shit. Because you watch the movie, you don't know at all what it says. It just didn't tell the story at all. I guess I was so confused. That's when I learned to check the reviews always before you watch. So I've learned to never watch anything below 7.3 out of 10. You know, in the beginning, I only would watch anything above 9, but I exhausted them. I would have nothing to watch anymore if I have to stick to that. So now my standard lowered and lowered and lowered. I did my experiments. I watched movies below that point. I just feel like I watched many different movies, and I just realized things below 7.3 are just very likely to be bad. But also, I've watched movies that are kind of above 8 even. I think they suck. Maybe because the values, their core values or what, just couldn't match mine. Because I'm just, again, I'm really intuitive person. I really feel, when I watch something. Sometimes it just doesn't make sense emotionally, the emotional logic. It doesn't. Like the emotional logic, by which I mean, like, a character is supposed to be feeling this way, And if a character feels another way in this situation, it would feel really weird for someone that's, I guess, emotionally intuitive. I guess, I'm emotionally intuitive. So I can just sense, I guess I'm more sensitive than others. I don't know. So I can just spot it. And I just, if it doesn't make sense to me, and if it's a big thing in a movie, I'll just think this movie totally sucks. For example, that movie about this mouse cook or rat cook. It's a fantastic idea, but the emotional logic in the movie was total mess. I just couldn't understand it all. There was just so much unnecessary violence in there. I really hated it. But it's like a 8.3 or 8.6 even out of 10. I don't remember. I hated it so much. And there are some other movies that are not liked, that are below 8, but I feel so good. Because of the emotion details are so perfect, Everything completely perfect. I don't know how they just get below 8. How could they? I would give them above 9. For example, that movie, I don't remember their name. It's just so good, but it's like a 7.8. Oh, I am so grateful. There's so many movies. I could never exhaust all the movies in the world. There's like a million movies. I could never finish watching them. There are always more movies for me to watch. I'm really grateful. I don't watch them every day. I can even watch them every day. I'll always have more to watch. I guess, I hope. I don't know, actually. I'm not like too big of a movie person. I don't watch movies every day. A few times, 2 times. I don't know. I've been talking. I'm such an unconditional, unusual, unconventional person. That's just what I know about me. What I've learned, what I've observed. I'm just so unconventional. I'm so unusual. Abnormal, some people would say. Abnormal, I wouldn't say it's a negative word. I think I'm unconventional, and I think that's a fantastic word. Fantastic, just like postmodern art. If you don't understand what I am, like, think about postmodern art. I think if you can't appreciate postmodern art, you wouldn't like me. Because that's what I am compared to other people. Like postmodern art compared with normal, traditional forms of art. That's how I'm. And I love postmodern art. Anything of any form. You know, like, I hate rules. Especially, there shouldn't be any rules in art. How can there be rules in art? That's just the most obnoxious thing in the world. Is to have rules in art. Like when I write poetry, I write it however the fuck I want. I want it to rhyme or not. Yeah, there's some rules in art that some people believe in. That says, okay, if you write poetry, it must rhyme. You just suck your dick. I mean, the fuck? You have so many rules here and there, and now you even want rules in art? That's a piece of bullshit fucking sucker shit. Cock. You can't do that. That's just I don't know what words to say, but if you're someone that's for rules in art, I mean, you would hate me. I would be too much for you, or too less for you. That's what you would think. I don't know at all. We wouldn't be able to understand each other. But I think anybody that watched this video to this point aren't this kind. Everyone's intuitive. Everyone is intuitive. Everyone's drawn somehow. Everyone's pulled, no matter you know it or not. That's how we're built. We're supposed to be intuitive. We're supposed to. Remember, the only thing we're born to do, we're dying to do, is to follow our heart. Is to be authentic. That's the only thing that we're built for. That's why how twisted our world is today, because people are taught not to do it. And so many people just don't do it. That's why the world's sick, because of that. That's our illness. That's the only thing wrong. The only thing we need to do, again, to fix it, is to start to follow our heart at an individual level. If you want to ask, what can I do? How can I change the world? What's the only thing I need to do? Whenever you ask a question about the answer is always follow your heart. No matter what question you ask, as long as it's about the doing. Ask, what can I do about this or that? About my family, about this, about my future, about this and that. Follow your heart. Follow your authentic feelings. You have to add authentic before feelings, because some feelings are just not authentic. For example, if you follow your fear, that's not okay. You have to follow your authentic feeling, or deepest intuition. Well, there shouldn't be many explanations on it, because the more you try to explain it, the more you try to engage with your mind. You try to use your mind, to use your logic. Okay, use your logic to define what is authentic feeling, what is not. It's not how it works. It's the opposite. The less you use your mind, you use your head, the better, because you don't use your head doesn't. Your head is a useless machine. You think is intelligence. You think intelligence matters. I mean, if you think intelligence is something you should worship, some people say, I used to be that kind of person. I used to worship IQ, like intelligence. If I was like, some people call themselves what's the word? I don't remember. Shit. It starts with an S. It means you're attracted sexually to intelligence. What's the word? I have not used it since forever, but just a couple of years ago, or even a year ago. I don't know. A year and a half ago? No, 2 years ago. I don't know. Whatever. I was for a long time, forever. I was that. If I saw someone that has a PhD, I'm excited. I would be excited. Not anymore, because now I've learned things that are more important. If you're like that, you're still, intelligence is important. Intelligence is the most important thing if you're still arrogant that way. Think, human beings are the greatest creatures because of their intelligence. If you're like that, you would hate me, because I hate you. However smart you can be as a human, you can have the IQ of 300, which nobody has ever had. Or 400, let's say 500, whatever, 1,000. You still aren't, you can't be nearly as intelligent as the infinite intelligence, which is the source of any intelligence or of anything, any wisdom. That's so much beyond our human understanding. You can't ever. And if you're so rely on your human intelligence, you think you're going somewhere. Actually, that's leading you to the opposite direction. And that's exactly what's happening on the planet. That's what we need revolution against, or in. I don't know the right word again. I don't know. It's a problem that we follow our heads too much. That's not what I say, that's what I've learned. That's what's said over and over again. Just watch any video about the shift. It's about following your feelings, your heart. Let your authenticity out. Be your true self. Basically, just anything said in spirituality. True spirituality. I mean, there are many videos in spirituality as a term, and so many are, I guess I say, false spirituality. They talk about things like, just like the human condition. You know, there's always different kind of stuff. I'm talking about the true spirituality. Anything that the true spirituality says just can be concluded in that one sentence, which is follow your heart. You know, you always have to be your only true authority. Whatever you hear, test it in your heart. That's also what I learned, not what I came up with. And I know it's true. Anything that makes you feel more liberated, anything that makes you feel more alive, anything that makes you feel, you know that feeling. I don't need to describe it to you. You're born, you're built to know it. You know it now. People need you and me and everyone to follow their heart. The people that are not following their hearts, they need you the most to follow your heart so that you can show them the way. So you should ignore what they say right now. You should think about what they want to say. If they discourage you from following your heart, if they tell you how impossible it is, how you should be more practical, quote unquote, you shouldn't be talking about those bullshits. You shouldn't be dreaming now as an adult. If you hear comments like that, that's what they're saying right now, and you should ignore that. You should think about what they truly want to say is, I want to follow my heart too, and I need you to show me the way. I get really triggered by, some things people say. Because, like I said, I only care about many things I care about. And if some people bullshit about these things that I care about, I get really angry. For example, when people say, adults are not supposed to be dreaming, to be practical. I hear things like that. I just want to, shit. I just get so mad. But now I've learned this. That's not what they really want to say. They don't even want to say it. They don't want to believe in it. It's just what their lives seems to have proven to them. And they don't want this to be true. But just unfortunately for them, it seems to be true. And they don't want it to be true. They're saying it because they're just so sad. They're so sad. And especially these people need me to follow my heart, to be dreaming. Especially these people need it the most, more than anybody else. More than those people that say the opposite, that say, follow your heart, follow your heart. Because these people, they already know, and they are following their heart. They need me less. But those people that say, adults shouldn't be dreaming anymore, it's kid stuff. You should be practical. It's too realist. It's too idealist. When people that say this, they need me the most. They need me to follow my heart the most. They want to follow their heart more than anything. Because they haven't been able to. Because we're built to follow our heart. We are our hearts. We are our hearts. I think I've been talking for long enough. Oh, shit. It's so late. Shit. It's been 2 hours. Even though I still have fear, doubt, I guess I just need to accept them. What can I do anyways? Maybe something would happen. Don't know. It's not my job. It's the universe's job to prove to me to let things happen. Let those things happen. I should relax. If somebody could say these to me, it would be more powerful somehow. I'm telling myself this. I'm the only person that tells me this. If only I could have somebody in my life that says these to me. Would be better. Thank you for watching. If I could make a wish, if there's a wish you can make, my wish would always be, without doubt, to live from my heart completely every single moment of the rest of my eternity. Because that's the only thing that matters. That's the path of least resistance, of most joy, light, complete alignment. That basically is everything. Everything. let's continue to pray for this, to wish each other this. So, see you, and I wish you to always follow your heart. I wish that you would always, always, always follow your heart.